band that comes from Wingham, wherever Wingham is.
Oh, Wingham.
An hour north of you or so. They're a bunch of siblings, except for one, and I'm trying to still figure out which one. You're the non-sibling out there.
And there's a story behind that.
In London, please join me in welcoming Silence.
Oh, Silence.
Right.
This is the Silence era.
Good Lord. I can't believe there's a Silence era. That's when that. Ouch. Yeah. Those beats. Look at Mark.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Those keyboards are really quite tough.
Karate chop.
See the trees so withered. Stars in dust.
That's
Pull off the
hidden layers.
throw away the dust.
Take out the pus.
It just sounds pretty cool.
Huh?
Sounds pretty cool, actually.
We were good.
Yeah, we were.
Vegas never looked so weathered.
You were good.
Hollywood gives
For that era, very garbagey.
like the flow of rust. I know
No, this was before we recorded our first record, was it? Probably.
Yeah.
into the ruins I go.
Nice. That's
That was
hilarious.
a little trip down
I
memory
like the
lane.
rhyme of I know I
Dust
must take out all the pus.
Take
What a
it.
line that is.
Take out all the pus.
Take out all the
Take
pus.
out all the pus.
So there's a little trip down memory lane for all you guys.
Silence.
And welcome to Boy in December podcast, episode 12.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and we
We've been-
apologize.
Busy.
It's been a busy
Hello.
couple weeks. We've got Micah joining us all the way from London, England. I guess you're not in London, but you're over in England somewhere via
Hello.
Skype.
Hello, governor.
Well, yeah, brother.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah. We're in,
Place.
hello, Governor. We're in Great Yarmouth tonight.
So where exactly are you, Micah?
I am in Great Yarmouth.
Great,
Is
is
that
on the
really the name of the town? The Great Yarmouth?
great yarn.
Is it what? Sorry.
Is that really the name? Great Yarmouth?
It is.
Oh, really?
Great Yarmouth. Yeah.
That's a good name.
Why do they
On
always
the
have to?
coast, we're about. Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
we're about 3 hours northeast of London.
Oh, yeah, nice.
3 hours
Can
north.
you
What's
hear
it
me?
called
We're
again?
about 3 hours northeast of England, of London, of
Northeast.
England.
What's it called again?
Oh,
The
Sorry?
Great Yarmouth.
Great Yarmouth. Is there a shitty Yarmouth there too, or is there?
This is the great one.
It's funny when they
There's
put
a
great.
mediocre Yarmouth. Yes.
Yeah, like why do they put
This
that
is
great?
the great one.
This is the Great
There's
Yarmouth.
Great Britain, or there's the not so great Britain.
Ouch.
Nice.
Interesting. Nice.
Good. So why are you over there?
Am I
Micah?
really delayed there?
No, it's not bad. It's working all right.
Me and my beautiful wife are on vacation, which has been amazing, really nice. But I do miss the boys as well.
Yeah, well, we miss you too.
we miss you too.
Did some recording this week on Monday, finish up vocals on the new song All Right that we're hoping to release next week. So we'll do a special podcast next week to launch that to iTunes and the world.
Yeah, it's good.
It's been going really well.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. But we
Good
definitely
tune.
miss our brother. So while you're over there, what are you noticing about the music industry? Or have you had a chance to listen to any music or check out the radio or what's going on over there?
Yeah, I've been to some.
We've got some delay.
Oh, we listen to the radio quite a bit, and it's. Yeah, I think so. Eh. Hello.
What is the radio?
So
I
yeah.
think so. Is it?
How many record deals have you landed us?
Yeah, like, because we've sent you over there specifically to land us a record deal.
They landed us a record deal.
We landed us a record deal because it's really.
We went to see. What's that place called today? We went to Sandringham today which is one of the Queen's estates.
Nice.
So I put a bunch of CDs on a bench there. So I'm sure she'll grab her.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
a beautiful spot.
Oh, I
It's
bet.
insane. 20,000 acres.
Wow.
They spend
Lord.
Christmas there, all the royalty.
royals.
So I'm sure it'd be a great spot for a concert.
Well, maybe we could set one up. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And all these ruins. We've been to all these ruins. Insane. It'd be so awesome to shoot a video or do a live gig there. But I'm
Into
sure
the
the
ruins.
English Historical Society wouldn't allow it.
No.
But
What are they ruins of?
it'd be better than playing on the LCBO roof, I think.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of them are ruins of castles or an abbey or
Nice.
just really. What really strikes me over here is the history and
Yeah.
just thinking how young I am in the grand scheme of things, and then looking at places and buildings that people were thousands of years ago. It's insane.
There was definitely a sense back in those times, like to build things that lasted a long time. We've definitely lost that, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
And quite inspiring, actually. Play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'd be,
You know-
you're cutting out or something. But anyway,
Cutting
it's the technology, folks.
Hmm.
It's amazing that we can actually see you though and hear you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's great to have you here virtually.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
You're on holiday.
what the other thing that's really striking is, they built things to last,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
And that's what I want to do with our band, is build something that's going to last.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, and I guess that's laying a solid foundation first and foremost. I mean, you got buildings over there that you said you were staying in a building that was built in the 1500s that's still standing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still music from that
Well,
era.
Earlier
standing.
than that, actually.
Yeah.
That's crazy, eh?
In a building that was built in the 1300s.
Wow.
It
was a
is
bed and breakfast.
interesting. It is interesting with music. If you think 1,500 years from now, other than sort of classical music, like we have a sense of timing on, but as far as like modern music, it's just like, you go back maybe to the 20s or whatever, since the invention of the recording
Right.
thing and the generations, right? But can you imagine like what will this generation, this decade, or not decade, this millennium's music be compared to, or what? Or is music just something that's
I wonder if
somewhat
music.
always the same? Like,
I don't know. Actually, the funny thing is
it'll
that
be interesting 1,500 years from now, or will our songs still be available? Will they still be out there online, or will
well,
there be such
Depends
a
if the polls switch, right?
Yeah.
it's quite a thing.
If they do or not. Actually, the funny thing,
That's
about
right,
the interesting thing about music, and this thought crossed my mind this week, is that really for thousands of years, like music's kind of working the same way as technology, in the sense that it's operating on an exponential curve, where you have thousands of years where music is relatively unchanged. I mean, you've got your kind of more tribal music, and then that became in the filters up into the medieval time, where it's just ballads and folk music kind of thing, which we still have today, obviously, all of those kind of sounds. But when rock and roll hit, it kind of came out of initially out of the blues and church music, and then from that, how many genres? Like you can't even count them today, right?
It's crazy.
Which makes it a challenge as well at being a band in 2011.
Well, and there's so
Sure
much.
is.
It'll be interesting to see even like how our kids will grow up, because they have such, like, for us, you only had access to a certain amount of music,
Yeah,
and even now, like, there's so much more opportunity to be inspired by so many different styles. You can just type it into YouTube, whatever, and
yeah. I don't think music
And
has. has the same longevity in our minds as it did when we were kids.
No.
No, it's not as. I don't know if it's as. Is it more cheapened or
It's.
nowadays? You know what I mean? It's
I don't
just,
know.
you just go from one thing to the next. Even
It's so everything's just so fast.
yeah.
Onto the next song, onto the next.
Well, I mean,
there's
this is
I
what
think
we're
that's-
doing, right? We're releasing
Yeah.
a song at a time, just because the interest for people to wait for an album just isn't there anymore.
It's true.
No, true.
Where before you could listen to an album for 2 years and not get sick of it. 'cause
But I don't
it's
think
sort of
that-
all you had.
I don't think that
Yeah.
cheapens our music.
No.
No,
No, I don't think it cheapens the music. I mean, it's just more. And garbage
Whereas
isn't
I'm
the
thinking
right
of
word.
architecture.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Micah.
Well, just with architecture, you think of North America, you think of, our architecture at home, and think of these little villages that in 200 years back home will be nothing. Where here, there's something substantial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think in Europe
And
too.
so I think a lot of it in our culture, we're moving fast, we're building for right now. We're not thinking about the future, really.
no, but that would be the same for modern Europe too, right? Or do
Yeah.
they maybe that not? They think a little more in keeping consistent with history. They're a little better at that, but we just don't.
I
'cause
would
we
think
don't,
so.
We don't really have
It's actually striking. Oh,
the same history.
true. Like, what else is interesting to me is that you don't see a lot of building going on over here at all, like
Right.
new builds.
Is it more restoration, I guess, of old, which I guess helps
Right.
keep the culture and the character of Europe alive too. It's the things that we as North Americans, when we go over there, really appreciate and
Yeah.
like.
The old
Is that
It's-
old
charm.
charm, and there's the little cottage and the little garden in the back, and something appealing about
The
that.
old charm.
Hmm.
I wonder what it is.
Mhm.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's the spirit of what Mike is
Yeah.
talking about. Where
Yeah.
it was built so many hundreds of
Interesting.
years ago, and there's like this energy of how many people have lived there before, and maybe there's a greater appreciation for that, or maybe it's just as simple as why build something new? And this, if it ain't broke, why fix it, or why build something new, just for the sake of being modern?
Right.
Which maybe bringing it back to music. Really the driving force of music has always been the same, regardless of how it evolves, as far as styles and so on and so forth. The best music, the stuff that lasts, like what you're talking about, is music that comes from the heart, that comes from a sincere place, that comes from, it's not contrived. The stuff that lasts for 6 months or a year is the stuff that, is contrived, it's a flash in the pan, it fits a formula.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
works.
last. It's not built to last.
And that's the thing.
Exactly,
and I
yeah.
think people know it's not built to last, so they
Right.
accept it for what it is. It's a
Yeah.
good,
I'll enjoy
fun
it for a
song to listen
season
to,
and-
fun song to dance to.
That's right, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously.
Oh,
But
That's
it,
true.
It is a good question.
I like to dance.
Are there going to be bands, 30 years from now that are classic? Is Justin Bieber going to be a classic artist, or a classic?
I don't know.
Here's some classic rock with Justin Bieber. Is that even going to last and stand?
Well,
Oh,
see, I would argue that
Yeah.
the upcoming generation is going to be even better.
right.
I would argue that they're going to be better. They're learning faster. They got guitar lessons on YouTube.
Right.
but are they
Like
just,
a huge percentage, those who are into music, and you see even that old more rootsy stuff coming back, and all you see young kids playing accordions and banjos, and like there seems to be people seem to be really sick of the canned music. They're not everyone, but there seems to be a huge amount of people that are kind of wanting something a little more organic, as with everything else, right? I think we've grown sick of the plastic processed world, and it seems like I think a younger generation is going to rise up and be happy just sitting on their front porch playing with
banjo?
playing banjo and pick or whatever, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
hanging out with their friends and playing guitars. And because before, for so many years, people in our generation, we were sort of more driven, less with we enjoyed the music, but there was still always a drive to, like, that was when the record companies were in their heyday, to, you know, to get the record deal, make millions, where there was an ulterior motive somewhat, I think, with our generation, where now you just really have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Maybe more, or it's not worth it, right? Like, it's a little more difficult to make money at it.
For sure.
But you'd need even more of a drive to make a statement.
I don't know what.
It's true. Yeah.
We need something. Something to get us to that next level. I don't know what it is.
I mean, that's still the dream for us, somewhat.
Of course it is.
To do it. And I don't care about necessarily lots
You're
of
looking
money,
at it.
but to actually do it full time.
Well, I heard an interesting stat
All the time.
this week, and I'm trying to remember the numbers exactly, but there was a chart put out by somebody, and it was in relevance to digital music, you know, and how to make minimum wage as a musician. And Matt, you've got a solo record out, so you can probably relate to this. So for you to make minimum wage, because it's a little different with a band, because there's 4 of us, right? So for 4 of us to make a living, just multiply what I'm about to say by 4,
right.
to make minimum wage. So, and I'm going to have the numbers wrong, but I'll have them close. But I think it was something like you would need to sell 150 CDs pressed, like your own CDs pressed, right? To make minimum wage.
150?
Yeah. So if you could sell 150 CDs a month, you would
Minimum wage.
make minimum wage,
Which isn't too bad.
right? And then you would have to sell something like 5,000 or something digital downloads or something like that.
Right.
But where it really gets scary is when it gets to online streaming, right? Where you make pennies. And it was something like on Last FM, you'd have to sell something like 3 million, or you'd have to have 3 million plays
To make
or
minimum
to make
wage.
minimum wage.
Wow.
Right? So boy, in December, for us just to make minimum wage and make a living,
Yeah.
it would have
12
to get
million.
12 million plays on Last FM.
But
It's tough to do it as a living. Like, I heard another statistic, I think this was out of the US, that this was maybe from the IRS, so probably a lot of musicians keep it under the table.
Of course.
Is it the IRS? Is that
Yeah.
what-
Yeah.
that only 60,000 musicians actually do it as a living.
Right.
But that, I'm sure that would just be people who claim it. But that's low. That is really low. 60,000 people out of the millions and billions that
Right.
yeah.
And
are
I suppose
trying, so.
at the same time, you could look at that. I mean, it could be either encouraging or discouraging, depending how you look at it. But that also show you that, well, there's only 60,000 people in our field, quote unquote. Of course, we know there are millions of bands
who just aren't doing
who
it
just
for a living.
aren't, you know.
Aren't doing
but
it.
there's room, I guess, is what I'm saying, for more people to be making a living with their music. I mean, the encouraging thing about it is, like, you know, you're talking about one stream, like with digital downloads and streaming, right? So that's why we're trying to get our music out onto every streaming site we can,
Yeah.
right? So maybe you get, 50,000 streams here and 50,000 there, and they add up to the 12 million that you need. So there's kind of, a bonus there too, but it's just so much harder these days with so much music out there to actually make a living.
If you're selling discs and in all those sections, then it little better odds,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean,
But still.
music is always a gamble that way anyway, right? As far as the money side of it goes, the business side of it.
So this is back to my point where you pretty much just have to do it because you enjoy it. If something else
Absolutely.
happens,
It's a bonus.
It's a bonus.
I mean, you definitely have to
boner.
go out of your way to put it up on every site and to tour and do the hard work behind it. But it's, as always, it's that catch-22.
Yeah.
You need to get out there and tour, but yet if no one buys your music, you don't have any money to tour.
Yeah.
It's just a huge catch-22. So somehow you need some kind of sponsor.
If anyone would like to sponsor.
If anybody would like
Boy
to
in
sponsor
December.
Boy in December, step right on up. We'll take it.
We'll take it.
I'll wear your shoes.
Please.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wear your shoes.
Mm-hmm. Put on your boots.
I don't know. We got to do something.
Sexy
That's all I
boots.
know.
Man, he just keeps saying we got to do
We got to
something.
do something.
And we're trying here. That's for sure.
Something.
So what are we going to do?
I don't know. I just don't know what the next level is,
Or how you breach
or
that
how
level.
we. I don't know. We've been trying
Well,
for
there's
2,
probably
3 years.
But the thing
on
is,
our
there are
own.
specific things you do. You get the publicist, you get the booking agents and stuff. But then
Yeah, but you
But
can't
you
get
first-
a booking agent unless you're playing
that's
tons of
just it.
shows.
It's a complete catch-22.
I was looking
Unless
into
you're playing-
that.
Yeah.
So
I was
what-
reading along and it's saying if you're not booking your own show, or if you're not playing lots, then don't bother
Yeah.
contacting us. But you're a booking agent. I'm
Yeah,
contacting you to get us shows.
so we can play
But
lots.
I can
But-
understand on they want to make money too. So if we're not going to draw crowds, then
And even
they're not going to want us.
Yeah. And we did used to book a lot of
Mhm.
our own shows.
Yeah.
I think somebody like a manager type that's doing it all the time. I think we would benefit from that,
Definitely.
Yeah, which we did.
which we had before, and
That's right.
We had
we
a
were
really good manager. for a
playing
while.
tons of shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Unless one of us, it is a full-time job, I think.
It is a full-time
Oh
job.
yeah.
Even though
Well, we've talked about that. And here we are, four older guys who've been playing music since we were as long as we can remember.
And we're sort of talking about this, having been there, done that.
Yeah. in a
Yeah.
sense.
Somewhat discouraged that we did all we could, but it's still.
And
But then it does definitely go back to writing really good songs.
yeah.
That we just need to keep writing till
That's
every
right.
song is a smash hit.
That's right.
You know, or as some,
And the key to that, I think, is just to keep doing what we're doing. From a musical standpoint, I'm not worried at all. I mean,
No.
there's no, when we go out and play, we love it, we enjoy it, it's our passion, and especially when we play live, there's nothing that compares to that. And that feeling will never go away, regardless if we ever have success or enough money made from our music to, pay a wage for us all.
Mhm.
But at the same time, because we love it so much, it's what you want to do. It's what you want to wake up every day and do. You want to, travel and play shows and let people hear the message in your songs.
but I guess that's the story of
Every band.
every band and everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah,
wants
true.
to. Only a select few get to, make money on their passion.
That's
It's
right.
Select few. But,
what's
Whoa,
that?
what was that?
Who's that robot?
There's some robot there.
Like, no.
Cool. Well, interesting discussions. I think we're still encouraged in spite of whatever. Here's another little trip down memory lane, folks.
Where's this at? America somewhere?
America. I
This
think the giant flag,
is in America.
New York City.
This is New York City about a month after 9/11.
Where is this?
Arlene Grocery.
No, it's not Arlene Grocery.
Sure
It's
it
at
is.
another club.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
This is the first time we played New York? Yeah.
No, I don't
No?
think so. It's the second time. I think it was the second time.
That's interesting.
Huh. I don't remember what. Did we go back to like in
That-
2000 and then 2001?
Oh yeah, yeah.
To New
Well,
York?
we did the tour down through
Boston.
Boston and down into Massachusetts and into New York City. That was 2000. And in 2001,
Okay.
we went down and we were actually set to leave on 9/11. Remember?
Yeah.
And like we were all
We were supposed
packed,
to-
ready
yeah.
to go, and all of a sudden, all over the news
Yeah,
was
they canceled it, right?
yeah, they canceled the
Obviously.
show,
Obviously.
and so it was all postponed a month. But you know, what are your memories of being in New York at that time? I know we did some radio interviews from there, which were interesting, just because it was such, you know, obviously people from Canada were curious of our perspective. And it was pretty interesting. I remember the smoke was still in the air. And
This perspective.
there was definitely some, man, there's this robot that just keeps showing up. It was definitely a sadness in the air. And I remember that show, even when we played, it had such a, I mean, not to sound weird, but it felt like we were, I guess, sending it out into the atmosphere, sending our music out to try to make some kind of a difference, you know, to encourage people. And I remember people in that audience actually thanking us and, you know, being inspired and thanking us for coming, you know what I mean? Because at the time there was a lot of fear in the world, and thanked us for coming. And those are the moments you enjoy and the moments you crave. And
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing, really.
yeah.
That was.
And so there's a nice shot of Micah James right there.
There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching at home. Nice little guitar solo.
That's
That song showed up. Interesting.
CMJ.
Yeah, it was at CMJ
CMJ.
Festival. That's what we were playing.
So young, eh? Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that was that was
Yeah.
like 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
We were in our prime.
22.
wow.
Nice.
Good time.
Good times.
So let's. I guess we've been working on a song, a new single that we're going to release next week. What's it about? Or I guess we don't have to go into the details of the about. We haven't really even established a name for sure, have we, Matt?
I guess not.
All right, I think.
I think we're
Alright.
calling it All Right.
So we've always called it. So.
That's what we've
Yeah,
called it.
stick
I
with
still debate or wonder if that's the right name for it. If it should have a name that leads people into the song a little more.
Everything
but
will be all right.
like everything will be all right. You know, maybe it.
It's been done.
all right.
I know it's been done.
Bracket.
Bracket dash.
All right.
Bracket.
Bracket.
Everything will be
Everything.
and bracket.
Deliver us bracket.
So I do have I do have a track here we can listen to that.
I wish it was the final.
It's
Or
not the final. We'll release the final next week when we release it to iTunes.
Give it a little bit of ear candy.
But there's a little bit of ear candy to where the song is at now. There's no lyrics on this, but so Matt, you feel free to add some in live here if you want.
That's all right. Just give us a little taste.
But there's
of
a little
it.
taste of All Right.
What was it?
To me.
be alright. Something like that.
It's basically it. Nice, another guitar-driven song.
Yeah. Micah James front and foremost there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good song.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good tune. I'm really
Yeah,
happy
it sounds
with
great. It sounded really great.
I got to
Sounds
thank
good.
Randall and Thomas again for stepping in and producing and engineering.
Get the whole team out again for this one. And sounds
It's a lot
really
of fun.
Yeah, this is definitely a harder one because it's an older song. I think
Yeah,
we
for
wanted
sure.
to try to change it too much. I think
Good. Yes.
because
we had
it's
a
an old song.
tendency-
You've played it already a lot, so you want to. But in the end, I think just stick with the original and
Yeah, we did just
usually
stick
the
with
best
it.
idea.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to stick with that original thought. Sometimes you want to make it more interesting, but kind of take away from it though.
Yeah. True, brother Matt.
Or
True.
part of that feeling of thinking you want to change or getting excited about a change is simply just your creative brain getting excited because you're creating, but really you got to just stop when it's done. It's easy to carry it on too far.
Well, music's
Yeah,
like
for
any
sure.
kind of art. It's just never
Yeah,
done, really.
It's never done. So you
It's
just
always
have-
evolving. When we play it live, it'll change. You know, it'll just always keep shifting and changing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a photograph, which actually, to go down a whole other rabbit hole, I read something recently that a photograph actually is the best example of infinity we have, a snapshot. Because that's a place where time doesn't exist.
A
So
photo.
maybe a recording is similar.
Mm.
That's cool.
I mean, it's amazing we even have the ability to record and capture it. You know,
I know.
we
Yeah.
should be just thankful for that.
Oh, I'm thankful.
That's
Anyway,
the
that's a
thing.
little taste of All Right. Next week we'll reveal the whole song.
Yeah.
If you have any thoughts about it, anybody listening, feel free to send this to mgmt@boyindecember.com. Send us an email or go on our website and leave a comment with the podcast.
Yeah.
Because we enjoy your feedback. We appreciate your feedback. And we also apologize for taking so long to get this podcast out. It has been a couple weeks.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And maybe this is...
Sorry, I'm a robot.
Micah's fault.
It's all Micah's fault. He went off to England to get us a record deal. Here's the thing, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's used to be such a big deal, to get a record deal and all that kind of stuff. And we were so close back 10 years ago, even when things were happening for us. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade where we're at as far as musically and, the ability to really explore that creativity that we have and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's fun. Got a team together that we really enjoy working with, and it's just fun.
It is.
Do it at our
leisure.
leisure.
Or when we can fit
Somewhat
it in.
When we
leisure.
can fit it in somewhat. It's
Wouldn't say
definitely not
leisure.
leisure. We work really hard. It's actually never enough time is what it is.
No,
No.
there isn't enough time.
We squeeze it in. That's
Yep.
what's important, because we know you're waiting for it.
Yeah, I think, without sounding arrogant, but we do have some good songs, and I haven't given up on the dream and the thought that we could play and make music and actually support ourselves and our families with it. I mean, I still wake up thinking about that every day and excited about it. And when we play music, I feel excitement and joy. And even watching this old stuff, it's like, man, we've had some great adventures and great tours and great shows throughout the years.
That's right. We've had a good time.
And even if it was all to end, which it won't, because I think we're past the point of no return too, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So, if anybody has advice out there, we're doing our best to get our songs out to every possible internet distribution site that we can. We're trying to book shows. We've got a couple coming up, which I guess we could announce.
Yeah.
We have a couple in Stratford coming up. May the 9th,
I think.
is one that's going to be at
Molly Blooms.
Molly Blooms in Stratford. So anybody in the Stratford area, come on out.
Come on out.
It's going to be at
Oh,
Is
there's
that
that.
Micah?
No, I think it's like a feedback loop with the Skype.
Right.
Anyway,
Wow.
no big deal.
Feels like you're playing. No, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, I feel like we're maybe boring the crowd.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yay.
Let's hear these
We're in
poor guys.
December.
Boring December.
You guys are awesome.
Sorry, guys.
No.
Really, where we shine is not talking behind the mics, but
I should go to bed.
and Mike is go to bed. What time is it
Falling
over there?
asleep? What
Midnight.
time is it?
Well, let's pull out one more little gem from the archives and see what we got here.
It's getting late.
12
And,
o'clock over there.
Let's fade this up here if we can get something happening, and we'll call it. We'll wrap this podcast up. But look forward to next week when we release. All right.
It's our new CD, Stateless. It's available in the store, right over there.
Where's this?
Sam, the record man.
Sam the Record Man show.
What?
In London, right?
Yeah, it's in London.
We're playing at Sam the Record Man.
Yeah, they shut us down because we were too loud.
Yeah. We played a show that night, didn't we?
Yeah, we
As
played
well?
at the Spoke, maybe,
Every time I get a sense of freedom,
or maybe the Embassy.
all breaks sideways ends. Every time I get to the solid ground, it all gets
Is that a pink shirt?
Pretty close.
Giving all I got, so I won't get tied down. There's spaces there to find. There are better reasons to find. There's spaces there to find. There are better reasons to find. Why is this when we finally get the answer? We doubt why is it just before the show we all think around, just before the silence we get loud. Rest of the
Nice. I'm gonna fast forward and see where we end up here. We're still on that song.
We were tight, but the songs just were.
On our way.
Oh yeah, this is a good tune.
That's good.
This way still shaking, aside on the water. As if I didn't care for these empty waves. We whispered to the sky, we were
What kind of pants are those?
I don't know, a nice acid wash jeans of some kind. Well, we're on our way to you.
We're coming.
We're coming, world.
We're coming. One song at a time.
One song at a time, one
No,
show at a time.
We're definitely excited about this next song. It's good.
Absolutely.
It's a good little tune.
And
So anyway,
next-
And it in some ways it's a tribute to all the fans.
yeah,
The relationship between
it's
the
true.
band and the fans. The chorus is every time I give you something, you give something back to me, and that's really the reward of it all. That's why we keep doing it.
Hmm.
It's a call and response. So
Mhm.
thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening,
Thank
everybody.
you.
And Micah, any last thoughts from England? I guess you'll be home next time we podcast.
Nice.
Nice.
Classy.
That's a good thought.
That's right. I'll be home in a week.
Dust in the wind.
Drink some tea. Drink some more tea.
I think I'll let Micah get to sleep. It's what time is it over there? Midnight.
Tea.
Midnight. Say hi to Bono.
Say hi to everybody.
Almost midnight.
Nice.
I will.
Awesome. Good to see you, Micah.
Miss you guys.
Miss
Yeah.
you too, brother.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Yeah.
Boy in December signing off, episode 12. Thanks for listening.
Later.